Hello everyone and welcome to Blogger and Everything and welcome back to the channel. And man, after a 4-1 win versus Bayern Munich, what could be more fitting than to go to the Santiago Bernabeu with the roof closed, okay, with Mr. Vinicius Jr. about to get his Ballon d'Or on Monday, with Mr. Kylian Mbappe, who always scores against Barcelona, with Real Madrid fresh off of the remontada in the Champions League against Borussia Dortmund. Well, I can only guess that Real Madrid were trying to use the same tactic that they did against Dortmund, go 2-0 down, then get the crowd behind you and come back and win 5-2 or win, just win the game. I guess Barca did not get the memo because it was a 4-0 win this time for Hansi Flick in his first official Clasico, not just of the season, but ever. First Clasico at the Bernabeu, 4-0 win. I mean, Xavi is definitely watching and feeling very, very proud. And you know what? In some ways, this kind of was reminiscent of that performance when Xavi himself won 4-0 at the Bernabeu, except this time around, all 4 goals came in the second half. And, a brace from Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal and Raphinha as well getting in on the action. It could have actually been easily 6 or 7-0, and that's not an exaggeration because Lewandowski did himself miss a couple of sitters, and early on we saw Lamine Yamal himself waste an opportunity when he was through 1v1. But man, at the end of the day, Barcelona with the big win puts them now 6 points clear of Real Madrid at the top of the laliga table. And man, that's going to make a lot of people shut up because we all know what all of the talk was heading into this game for Barcelona. Oh, Real Madrid have Mbappe, Real Madrid have Vinicius, Real Madrid have Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Modric, all these guys, and playing that high line against Real Madrid is going to be super risky. And of course, Madrid did score once or twice and they were offside on both occasions. But the approach most people are going to take is to say, well, Barcelona got lucky there, but is it really getting lucky when you caught a team offside 8 times just during the first half? 8 times in the first half alone. That's not even counting Mbappe's efforts in the second half to add to that tally. So, it was honestly a pretty awesome performance from Barca. The first half, not too good, I should admit. The gamble to start with Fermin Lopez this time around didn't pay off because Barcelona weren't really able to unsettle Real Madrid and score early on, despite, like I said, Lamine Yamal did have that brilliant chance to do that, but they were not able to do it. And because of that, I felt like the midfield was dead for Barca during the first half. Casado and Pedri were having to do a lot of work, and Fermin Lopez positionally just isn't as refined as you would want him to be. And it made so much sense when Frenkie de Jong came in during the second half. And let me tell you this, anybody who has had anything bad to say about Frenkie de Jong so far in his career or even this season for Barcelona, this match showed 100% why Barcelona need Frenkie de Jong and why Frenkie de Jong is probably in Barcelona's strongest starting 11, because from the moment that he came on, having him, Casado and Pedri playing higher up the field gave Barcelona so much control over that midfield, and it just became easy for them to keep the ball from Real Madrid. And once Casado played Lewandowski through with a pitch of the pass and Barcelona took that lead, they were just able to control the game. Now obviously you could say, well, Real Madrid had some moments where they looked threatening, but to be completely honest, FC Barcelona controlled that match from the moment Frenkie de Jong stepped on that pitch. And wearing the captain's armband, honestly, it was wonderful from him, great to see. Of course, there's nothing but good things to say here today, and in particular for one man, that is the man who I would have to say has been the most disrespected, okay? During this whole run Barcelona has now won, 5 matches on the bounce, scoring at least 4 goals, if not 3 goals in all of those games. And they've had one man in that team during that entire run who has been getting a lot of disrespect. That man is Iñaki Peña. And I have to say, today he stepped up big time. He was, in my opinion, Barcelona's man of the match here. Because if not for him, Barca could have actually gone into the break 2-0 down. Let's not lie. He made some very, very big saves. One on Bellingham, quite a few on Mbappe. And honestly speaking, as much as I don't doubt Barca were going to find the back of the net in this match, they probably would have had more work to do in order to win the game if Iñaki Peña didn't turn up the way that he did today, okay? Him turning into prime Iker Casillas, rubbish with the ball at his feet, but brilliant at stopping shots. That was not anywhere on my bingo card. And honestly speaking, if I was going to give a man of the match today, because I'm not really following my typical format, I'm just too excited here. But if I was going to give a man of the match, I would definitely give it to Iñaki Peña. And then there would be, of course, some serious honorable mentions for, of course, Lewandowski for getting those 2 goals, but also for Frenkie de Jong for coming on, switching that game up, and as well for Pedri and Casado, because ultimately Barcelona's midfield won them this game. Okay, it was out of their control in the first half because the midfield wasn't where it needed to be, but just that introduction of Frenkie de Jong, putting him in that double pivot next to Casado, and honestly speaking, I think that Casado is a godsend for Frenkie de Jong more than anybody else. Might be a problem probably for Gavi, because Casado and Gavi are probably the 2 profiles that are the closest to each other, and he's probably the only other guy who you could probably switch with Gavi. And like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how Flick is going to solve all of that. But man, kudos to Hans-Dieter Flick, because at the start of this season, nobody gave FC Barcelona any sort of chance at finishing ahead of Real Madrid, let alone being able to play at the same level as Madrid. But right now, we've just seen them totally outclass Real Madrid. Fans were leaving the Bernabeu when there was still 10 minutes to go. And this is Remontada FC. The fans were out of the stadium at 3-0. And honestly speaking, all of this, let's not pretend, okay? This is all happening right now because of the brilliant work that Hansi Flick is doing, the belief he has instilled in this team, because that's probably the biggest difference, I would say, between Barca under Xavi and Barca under Flick, because Barca under Xavi did cook against Real Madrid as well. They had their big performances, but the difference is the level of belief, the level of confidence that Barca right now has in its defensive structure and its pressing structure. Under Xavi, the press was good sometimes, bad sometimes. I don't want to exactly sound like Gattuso, but I'll just throw in the clip if I have to.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Barca's press wasn't consistent. Barca's defensive structure wasn't consistent. Of course, the latter is because of all the defensive injuries Barca had last season. But these are the 2 things that, above everything else, Hansi Flick has worked on this team with. And of course, I think confidence in the finishing as well, because Barcelona are scoring from the types of chances that last season you wouldn't have even imagined. That first goal, the shot that Lewandowski took, I thought he took it way too early, but it was perfect and it beat the goalkeeper. Same with Lamine Yamal on that third goal on his weaker foot. What? And then hitting the Calma after that at the Bernabeu. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting way too excited here, guys. It's just been a while since this team has delivered to this level. Okay, first, exorcising the demons against Bayern Munich, which for me was actually the bigger victory between these 2. And then, of course, that Real Madrid win, which honestly speaking, I was expecting a draw. Let me not lie to you. I was expecting something like a high-scoring draw here, just because Real Madrid were coming in off of that high from that Dortmund, remontada. But ultimately, I guess, Carlo Ancelotti has some explaining to do, because in his press conference, he was very insistent that he had a plan for tonight. And well, I guess we've just seen what happens when you have a plan and you get punched in the mouth and you just can't recover from that. But hey, in his own words, They'll tell him today, they being the journalists, whether or not he is wrong or he is right. But all I know is that Hansi Flick give this man a lifetime contract, give him a piece of land just bordering La Masia, let this man work as Barcelona coach for as long as he needs, and give him whatever he wants. Okay, Laporta, give him whatever he wants. But aside from that, guys, just let me know your thoughts. What are your feelings after that performance, after what we've just seen? Let me know all of that. But aside from that, I thank you all for tuning in. Do have a great day, and Forza Barca.